What is up, boys and girls, and welcome back. It's AppleByte, like always, with some more Evolve for you guys. And today we have another special guest, another Tier 4 Hunter, the one, the only, Slim. Now, before we get into Slim, and before we start talking about him and discussing him, I just want to say that Slim is probably my favorite hunter, favorite new hunter, based on his design alone. Like, everyone else is a regular human, but fucking... Sorry for the for the cursing so early on. But Slim is he's an insect. He's an insectoid. He's an insect humanoid. He looks like a freaking fly, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure what else. And when you look at his character design, his jetpack, you know how the medics have the typical like wings, kind of like angel wings. Slim, I forgot his name for a second. Slim has insect bugs. They seriously look like fly bugs, like, you know, insect bugs basically. And I think his design is really awesome. Now, I did show you guys the intro video to his abilities, and I'll just go over them briefly. Right now, what we have equipped is called the Leech Gun. The Leech Gun is his kind of damage-dealing weapon. It's what you attack with. However, it does have a kind of special perk to it, I guess is one way to put it. What happens is that whenever you shoot a monster, you know, whatever monster you're facing, or if you shoot wildlife, it does damage. And it has like this little cool particle effect where when you shoot the monster, these particles come to you and you get to absorb them. And those particles that you're absorbing is basically what's one way to put it? It's energy for your burst heal is what I'm gonna say. Basically what I'm saying is the more damage you do to the monster or to a regular, you know, just to the monster or to a regular wildlife enemy, the faster your burst heal recharges, if that makes sense. So attack with the Leech Gun to have your burst heal recharge faster. Now, speaking about the burst heal, Slim also has the biggest burst heal out of all the hunters. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but his you can see all those particles that are kind of coming to me. You can kind of see that I'm absorbing it. You can see there, right there, I use the burst heal, and it has a really huge radius. And I'm not sure how much it heals. I'm guessing it heals just as much as a regular burst heal, even though it kind of felt a little bit less. I might have to check that out, but basically, yeah, like his burst heal has the biggest radius out of all the medics, which means he could heal a lot of people with his burst heal, and that, you know, correlates to his Leech Gun. You use your Leech Gun to do damage and to recharge your heal burst faster, and then you have this big heal burst to help your allies regain health, basically. We also have our LB, which is our drones. It's our kind of medic drones, I guess is one way to put it. You can see that the monster is really targeting me here, which I was... Okay, you know, just to be fair here, during this match, I was on the phone, so my concentration wasn't there 100%, so my gameplay definitely felt a little bit sloppy on this match, and I'm gonna go down. Yeah, you can see there I went down pretty damn easily, which is a bummer, really. The AIs on the monster is actually really good. He hardly misses with any attacks, and he knows how to get around, basically. What I was gonna say though, that guy just like left me. Like, he could have healed me really easily, and he decided not to. But his healing drones is an interesting concept. So basically, you know, he could heal with his heal burst, obviously, but he has these healing drones, which you can only send one out at a time. So you kind of hold the button, and you can see there over Maggie there was a green arrow pointing at her, and right there on Parnell, that green arrow is telling you what hunter you're actually aiming at, and you hold the button on your healing drone, and you aim it at a hunter and you let it go. And basically what it does is it helps the hunter regen HP over time, basically. The thing is that even though, yeah, it does help them regain stamina over time, it also stops healing the hunter once the hunter receives any sort of damage. So if we're fighting against a monster, say it's a Goliath, and our trapper had the drone on her or him, as soon as our trapper gets hit, the drone stops healing them for that HP regen. So mostly you're looking to basically be offensive as possible and using your heal burst as much as possible to kind of keep your team alive. And then last but not least is called, I think it's called the Spore Gun, Spore Gun Bomb Gun. I'm not exactly sure on the specific name, but it's an interesting weapon. It's not really a weapon, actually. It's more like a gimmick, if anything, for the lack of a better word. Basically what it does is it's actually a pretty quick firing, kind of like a grenade launcher. You could think of it kind of like Kyra's grenade launcher. It shoots a grenade, and wherever that grenade hits, the monster cannot use his senses. Now, I'm not exactly sure what senses it's talking about. I was talking to a couple players while playing Slim, and they're saying that, you know, and they're talking about how the senses mean that if the monster, if he comes and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, okay. If he's fighting us, man, I really had like a kind of a brain fart there. But if he's attacking us, and I put this spore gun down, it releases a gas over a certain area. Now, what happens is that he cannot actually. I go down again. Yeah, lovely. He cannot see our HP, I believe, and he cannot sniff us out, and he cannot tell us apart. So usually, when you're fighting, you know, medic is red, medic is blue, support is yellow, I believe. Trapper is I think trapper is yellow. Assault is red. Medic is blue, and our support is some other color. I have no idea, but you can't see the color, so now you kind of have to really focus on the character that you're attacking in, the character model. You can't just look for the name. You can't see their HP unless you're really close, so you know, the monster starts doubting who has a lot of HP, who doesn't have a lot of HP, and it kind of makes them harder to kind of decide what hunter to actually go after. So that's an interesting thing. Also, like I said, the enemy or the monster cannot sniff you out. So actually, what I was talking about with other people, I was like, well, it doesn't seem that useful, but it seems that it does fire frequently enough that you could shoot one off, and in 2 seconds you have another shot ready. So what you could do is, while you're running, while you're looking for the monster, you could constantly keep your team kind of in the spores, in like the mist, and that allows the monster to not be able to sniff out your team, which allows you to kind of be a stealthy team, kind of sneak up on the monster, because the monster wouldn't I guess you would catch him off guard, right? He wouldn't know that you're nearby because of the spore gun, and then you could, you know, trap him or engage him or cut him off or whatever. So it adds a stealth element to the hunters game, which I did not employ. I actually didn't use it that much. I don't know. Slim seems to be okay. This was obviously my first time, but he seemed a little bit harder to use. And I guess it's because I'm not used to using my heal burst so often, which is what I was kind of struggling with. Like, I was focusing on firing, and at certain points I was like, oh, is my heal burst ready? And it wasn't ready at times when I was tried using it, and then like when I could use it, I waited too long to use it. So it's kind of weird. You really have to stay focused. You really have to take, you really have to be focusing on the charge on your heal burst so that you can keep everyone in tip-top shape. You can see there, it does fire pretty quickly. That is a spore gun. And yeah, like I said, I'm interested to see what meta comes out of having kind of like a stealth mechanic for the hunters. Like I said, you can use the spore gun to sneak up on the hunter and have him not know where you are at all throughout the whole match, as long as you're constantly spraying you and your team with it, which I think is really cool. And yeah, that's Slim. I will make another video kind of talking about him and what I think his weaknesses are, what I think his strengths are, and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming. And yeah, for right now, my initial thoughts, my first impressions, I think Slim would probably sit in the third or second slot. Kyra, I think, would be the first, just because of her acceleration field, just because she's able to heal multiple enemies, and because you don't have to put yourself in harm's way to revive your teammates like Lazarus has to do. Now, the question then becomes, because I do feel if you're healing multiple people with your extended heal burst, I feel like Kyra's lobbing grenades works almost just as well, because you are healing multiple people, and you are healing a good amount, and you could constantly be firing those, as opposed to Slim's heal burst, which, you know, you can recharge it quickly, but that does require you to get some hits in and all that. So I think Kyra still sits on top for my initial impressions. I think Slim could give Lazarus a good run for the second place spot. But I think I'm gonna need a couple more plays of Slim to really get my head around it and consider where he really is in the table, which will be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see. I'm getting targeted right here. Yeah, you can see one of our teammates go down. I don't even care. I'm like, yeah, let's just do some damage. And the thing is, the leech gun actually does do quite a bit of damage. So I think Slim does have the potential, or I think he is probably the most offensive capable medic. I think he is the medic that can actually do some pretty good work on the monster if you keep that leech gun on him. So you know, that's another interesting aspect to bring in. You know, Lazarus is good for reviving, but offensively he really lacks, and to kind of keep the team alive, he really lacks. He has a really short range heal burst, which is all he has. It'll be interesting to see Lazarus actually get an extension on his heal burst, since it is the only way he's healing his team. But you know, we'll see about that. Overall, I think like I said, Slim slots in the second place spot for medic, or the third, depending on my next few plays, basically. And I think he's pretty well balanced. I definitely feel like people will like him. I definitely feel like he does have some pretty good uses. He really has some really good abilities. I go down there pretty damn easily. The monster, the AI, really targeted me pretty damn hard there. You can see here, I think our Trapper's actually gonna go down right there. That was her third strike, so she goes down. Cabot and Parnell are taking down the monster, and that is a hunter win. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And our first look at Slim, I will be playing him more. I will be recording more 4-tier hunter content, so if you're into that, then make sure to subscribe. Comment down below if you haven't already. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, and like always, boys and girls, thank you so very much for watching. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Jane.